Kevin, you can't make this up. And with respect for the institution, Mark Chandler in his book talks about John Hay, Secretary of State to Mr. Roosevelt long, long ago, think Panama Canal. None of us have ever seen this. How long can Secretary Tillerson survive?
Well, I think after yesterday, when the Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, giving what was not his first press conference, one of his first press conferences, we saw that he tried to reset the relationship, so to speak. But, you know, there's some speculation that they have a good cop, bad cop dynamic in terms of public statements that they make with North Korea and whatnot. But no question, what you saw yesterday was Secretary Tillerson really defending the president and denouncing the news report that he called the president a moron.
Does this damage any sense of dialogue with other nations, like the day-to-day doings of foreign policy out of State Department, or foreign policy, for that matter, out of a White House?
Well, Democrats will say it does. The administration will say it doesn't. I do think there is something to be said about, again, this good cop, bad cop dynamic, especially on the regards of something like North Korea, where you have a situation where the Secretary of State is working with back channels and the president trying to embrace that perception of unpredictability with his rhetoric. And we've seen that not just on geopolitical circumstances, but also in terms of a relationship with Congress as well.
All right, but Kevin, is this something that actually the president does on purpose, or is it kind of, you know, a slippage of the tongue, and we're seeing a president surrounded by people that try and keep him on track?
Candidly, I think there's a bit more purpose to it than meets the eye. But I think on at least in terms of foreign policy, and I think that if you even take a look at his Twitter account, they're a bit more just scripted, so to speak. But on other issues, on water cooler issues of the day, for example, most notably the divisive NFL rhetoric, that I think is very much off the cuff. But, you know, I think it has, at least in terms of foreign policy, I think that there is a much more coherent strategy.